It's UvaldeRadio.net, your concert station. Also, we support our Texas country scene and the rising stars within it. Right now with me on the phone, I guess checking in probably from Carrizo Springs. I know that's where he's it's his stomping grounds, but we'll find out here. On the phone with me, Mr. Garrett Talamantes. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. You are playing tonight, Friday Night Live at Broadway 830. That's at 100 East Main Street, downtown Uvalde, from 7 to 10 p.m. out there on the outdoor patio. Delicious artisan pizza, cold craft beer, and live music. We do it every Friday night with UvaldeRadio.net. And tonight, you're up, man. And this is going to be, what, your second time there, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we appreciate you doing the gig, first of all, man. And we tried to connect with an interview the first time around, but couldn't make it work out. So I'm really excited to get to know you, because I feel like you might be one of the big Texas country stars, man, one day. So it's kind of cool getting you right here at the ground level.
Yes, sir.
So Garrett, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, bro?
I'm 15 years old.
15 years old, man. So high school. Where do you go to school right now?
I go to school at Carrizo Springs High School, and I am a sophomore.
Wow, very cool, man. I have got a 15-year-old daughter, your age, goes to Uvalde High School, so your parents, man, I feel for them. I know what they're going through.
Yes,
but you seem like a good kid, man. So 15 years old, you're already doing gigs all throughout Southwest Texas and beyond. Let's go and talk about your musical upbringing. Again, you do country music. As far as Garrett Talamantes, when you go see a show, what are we going to see? Probably mostly covers. Do you have any originals yet? Give us the story there as far as music goes.
I know my style is heavily influenced by country music, mostly 70s, some older, some newer, but definitely some Johnny Cash, some Willie, some Waylon, some Marty Robbins, of course George Strait, but I'm definitely not limited to all that. I mix in some Southern rock, Sinatra, pop, disco, even some Spanish music.
Wow.
And I like to keep my shows interesting, and I like to surprise the crowd. I don't have a specific set list. I just try to feel the crowd and, give them what they want.
Well, man, that's a pretty diverse list of tunes, and artists you're pulling from. As far as your personal musical influences, did you listen to a lot of different kinds of music? I mean, you're still growing up, honestly, man. but what is I guess your go-to genres of music?
Well, I would say just country, mostly just Southern rock, old school rock, that kind of stuff.
Well, you mentioned some cool other stuff, like Sinatra, I guess, or, some jazzy stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it really depends on, I don't know, the season, I guess. You know, during Christmas, during winter, I listen to more Sinatra,
Nice.
Going into summer, I start listening to more rock and country, and, it just really depends on how I'm feeling.
Well, now, how much do your parents have to do with that? What's your situation as far as the musical influence that your parents bring to the table? Again, I mention it mostly because you're still 15 years old, and I'm sure that your life in many ways still revolves around your parents a lot, right?
Yes, sir. Well, my dad actually used to play the guitar, and my mom used to play the drums back in high school.
Wow, cool.
So I feel like both of those, little deals kind of influence me on, what I do, what I listen to. My mom is really into Luis Miguel, and my dad's really into, 90s rock, 2000s rock, and so they've had a pretty big influence on what I listen to and what I do.
Do you have any original songs? Are you a songwriter? Are you dabbling? Are you looking for songwriters to give you their work and maybe do some recordings down the line?
I've written a few originals, but we haven't yet recorded. Like I said, we haven't recorded anything just yet, but I already have a few that I've written down, and hopefully there's plenty more coming.
So I know you stay pretty busy. You're kind of a rising rodeo star locally, regionally as well, too. Let's go ahead and let's touch on that again, man. I know if you look on your social medias, you are all dudded up, man, in chaps and hats, and you got the full rodeo regalia going on. Give us your background in rodeo and, all that stuff.
So I started doing rodeo when I was 5. I started mainly doing speed events and slowly worked my way into roping as I got into junior high and high school. And as of right now, I do team roping and calf roping, and that's pretty much it.
Have you ever done an event out here at the Fairplex in Uvalde?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, every month we go out there to do the Texas High School Rodeo.
All right, very good. I think there's one coming up here pretty soon. Shout out to our sponsors at Uvalde County Fairplex. So, very cool, man. So, if you had to pick one or the other, music or rodeo, or is that just totally unfair for me to ask you that?
That is a very hard question. I've thought that to myself before, and I just really love rodeo. I love the atmosphere. It's what I love. It's what I do. It's what I've been doing for a very long time. I've made a whole lot of friends. I've made a whole lot of relationships doing it. And rodeo's kind of helped my music career as well,
Yeah.
I've met many, many, many good people through rodeo and through music, and that's just a really hard question to answer. I don't think I can answer that right now.
I won't press you too hard. It's all good. But you seem like a pretty exceptional kid, man. I imagine that you stay real busy, where most kids get out of school, they're stuck to their PS4, their PS5 for a few hours. I mean, you're probably, it was pretty tough just getting you hooked up to do this interview. So I know you stay busy. What is that like, man? I mean, obviously taking care of schoolwork, social life, being a performer, and, a rodeo competitor. Do you feel like you're just spinning, or is it just kind of what you do and all you've known?
Well, we started off with rodeo, like I said, and, just juggling rodeo with school, and then we started doing the singing, and then I got into football, and actually I forgot to mention that I'm vice president of the Texas High School Rodeo Association,
Very cool.
Vice president, and so we also have that, and so it's been a little challenging, but I've learned my way through it. I've gotten to a point where I've learned how to juggle all that stuff, and I feel like we're going pretty steady right now.
Now, I would imagine that your dad, you mentioned him earlier, is probably a really big support system. He actually helped facilitate this interview, and that makes total sense, man. I mean, you're 15 years old, so it's cool that, your dad's kind of a professional buffer. Does he handle a lot of your business, kind of like acting manager, and what does he bring to the table for you?
My dad is the driver, the roadie, the booking manager, the promoter, the social media guy. He orders the merchandise, and most importantly, he's my top investor. And he makes sure I have everything I need to put on a good show, and then some.
Well, I mean, what's that like, man? You say you got into rodeo at 5 years old. Now, this is, and I've got a little bit of experience on this as a parent. Sometimes, as parents, we put our kids into things that we like, or we think that that's going to be a good fit for them. And at some point, they have to kind of become their own person, and they kind of have to decide if they want to stick with it, you know what I mean, or move on to something else. Did you ever have a moment where rodeo, maybe you were like, man, this might not be it, or have you just been on fire for it the whole time? And same question for music.
Well, rodeo has always been what I love. Mm-hmm. It's always been what I've always wanted to do. There have been a few points where I start like kind of leaning toward music more. Some mm-hmm. points where we aren't practicing rodeo as much as we practice music. But I still love rodeo, and my dad's kind of let loose of the reins. He's kind of letting me decide what I want to do. And I've decided that I want to keep on rodeoing, and I want to keep on doing music. Both of those things are just what I love. I love singing in front of people. I love performing in front of people, and I love rodeo.
Well, man, as far as pursuing a career in country music, if that's the direction you want to stay focused on, doing rodeo, man, actually brings a lot of legitimacy to it, because you're going to be inspired by the lifestyle. People are going to be able to hear it, with your lyrics and your music, your lyrical content and whatnot. Exactly. So very cool. And you mentioned that, rodeo has brought you a few connections. Are there any noteworthy gigs, any cool shows, and any standout shows that you've been able to do thus far?
Well, I would say so far my biggest experience was performing on the Live with Lucia show. That's part of the National Finals Rodeo. That was an amazing experience. Being a rodeo cowboy myself, it was pretty cool to be part of that experience and perform in front of the pros and people I look up to.
Very cool. Well, again, we're talking to Garrett Talamantes. He's performing tonight, Friday Night Live, Broadway 830, downtown Uvalde. The address again, 100 East Main Street. Showtime at 7, goes till 10 p.m. Maybe a couple of breaks in between. Great pizza, cold beer. Not for you, Garrett. You're too young. But it's going to be a great time. So everybody go out there and see Garrett tonight at Broadway. And real quick, man, so what's What's the end game? What's the goal? Are you striving to be a professional recording, artist, rodeo star, maybe a little bit of both? What do you see, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, etc.?
Well, as of right now, I'm definitely focused on building my live shows, Like anything else, you can only get better by getting out there and doing it. And like I said, I've been writing some songs and looking forward to getting into the studio when the time is right, of course. It's tough with school, rodeo, and sports. Like I said, I'm the vice president of the THSRA, so rodeo keeps me really, really busy. But I would say the first long-term goal that I have is to get into a good university. I realize it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you can't run your business, you're setting yourself up for failure. Beyond that, I have a lot of dreams. I've been making YouTube videos since I was about 7 or 8. That turned into a YouTube channel, which I crossed with rodeo, which started this whole G1 Rodeo Show concept. And it gave me the opportunity to start interviewing my peers, then moving on to the pros. And it put me in front of corporate sponsors and opened a lot of doors for me. And from there, I've done a little bit of rodeo announcing. I'm working on some video production for our Region Rodeo Association. And then we added the music. And I think my journey will put me in front of a camera or a microphone, or maybe both. It all depends on God's plan. And we can't forget rodeo.
Awesome, man. I mean, you are a young man that's got it together. You got a great vision. You got a good head on your shoulders. Obviously, a great support team. I feel like, man, in a few years, I might be asking you for a gig. So, very cool, man. It has been an honor and pleasure getting to know you, Garrett. Again, Garrett Talamantes, tonight, 7 to 10 p.m., Broadway 830 in downtown Uvalde for Friday Night Live. Garrett, go ahead. You mentioned your YouTube, and give us your website, all your social medias, all the places people can find out more about you.
Website is g1rodeoshow.com. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, all G1 Rodeo Show.
And what does the G1 mean? Is just Garrett? Is that Garrett number 1?
So my name's Garrett, and my little brother's name is Granger, and so I'm G1.
Okay.
He's G2, so we got a little deal going there.
Nice, I like that. G1 Rodeo Show. Find Garrett on all the socials and the official website. Well, Garrett, man, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us, and we'll see you tonight at Broadway 830. Okay, brother?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Everybody hang tight. We've got the Kinfo mini concert warm-up coming up right after a quick break right here on UvaldeRadio.net.